Go back to when we are coaching people and people are saying they feel fatigued. The fatigue does not come from the pandemic. It does not come working virtually. It doesn't. It's a symptom that causes that potentially. Yet fatigue comes from people not managing their new work worlds. So I'm in an office right now with lights and cameras. I'm in a basement office. I don't see daylight during the day. It's tough at times. So what do? I got to go outside. Motion creates emotion. Get your people moving. Now you're thinking, Tim, we're in a virtual world. How much money do you get paid? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Get people laughing, changing their physiology. You, as a leader, have got to coach your people to think differently, feel differently, because most who go up those stairs do what? They get to the top and say, "Oh, I'm never going to do that again." Versus saying, "You know what? I got to work out." Our people's minds need a workout. I want to share with you three things that we did at this company. Remember, they hated the pandemic. 2.5 years later, they are absolutely loving working virtually and they don't want to come back in the office. But they're the first ones to say they're fatigued. So going back to the conversation I had with this client, and I'm going to give you the three techniques is, we added up something. I said, "Well, how long does it take to drive into the office?" She said 20, 30 minutes. I said, "Okay, that's an hour a day. That's 5 hours a week. How often would you say we have unnecessary interruptions where we have idle chit chat, which we also miss?" And she said, "I 20 minutes a day." I said, "Awesome. So let's say 100 minutes, about hour and a half. Let's just call it 2 hours. We're at 7 hours." She said, "Okay." And I said, "How often do we have meetings that might feel unnecessary?" She goes, "Oh, I'd say a good hour a week." I said, "Great. Let's stop there. We're at 8 hours. We're anywhere from 24 to 32 hours a month, roughly 3 to 4 days." And her jaw's on the ground because she had never done this. She had never worked backwards and, kind of dissected her day. And I said, "So how are people reinvesting that time?" And I smiled. She goes, "Oh my God." So, you know what she did? She started to lay out these numbers for her team. And she said, "Have any of you thought about how much time savings we have and the luxury we have of not paying for gas, not being caught in traffic, parking the car when our parking lot is, filled?" And everyone starts nodding. She goes, "So how are you guys investing your time or reinvesting that time difference?" She called me up. She said, "Tim, nobody could answer the question." I said, "Right. Because when you sit and you don't see daylight and you're in an office or you're at your home and you're stressed and your kids are homeschooled now and now they might be on the bus next week and I don't know what's going to happen, our world's in our place where we work changes. So would you really tell someone, this is coming from a Wisconsin guy who's overweight, 'Oh my God, for heaven for sake, don't work out. Keep eating cheeseburgers'?" No, you would say what? Got to work out. You got to get healthier. The mind is the same thing. So I want to give you my three techniques. See, I think we've lost perspective. I think we've lost perspective of something very valuable. It's going to come off insensitive. It's going to come off non empathetic. Just bear with me. A good day's work. See, I worry when I see all these companies saying we're going to go to a 4-day work week. I'm all for it. Our people last summer had every Friday afternoon off. I'm all for it. But we can't let fatigue drive our businesses. Now, someone might say, "Oh, that's not what we're trying to do." That can happen. So, fatigue is a feeling that needs to be fought. So, I had a session and I'm pretending I'm looking up at it as I'm looking at all of you right now, and I'm looking in a Zoom session, and I'll never forget it. People were like this. One person goes, "Do you mind if I have my camera off?" And I said, "Guys, come on, let's put our cameras on. I know you're fatigued. It's your first or second session of the day. Come on, I get it." And all of a sudden, people are like this. And I said, "Look, I want you to sit back, put your pens down, put your phones down. I want you to just forget about your work. And I want you to close your eyes. I know it's corny, but I want you to all see your eyes closed. Now you don't have to look at the camera or look at me." Everyone started laughing. And I played music for 7 straight minutes. I said, and I'm whispering in the background. I said, "Just listen. Hopefully you like the music." And I was playing some kind of really easy, kind of upbeat music, pretty safe music. And you could just see people's shoulders lowering. So then I brought him back and I said, like almost like they were out of a trance. And I said, now I want you to watch this video. And I played a video, and I've used it over and over again. It's one of my favorite videos. It's about Robert, who's a manager of a high school basketball team, who has Down syndrome, and he scores the last 3 points, the last 3 point shot of the game. He gets carried off the court by not one team, but both teams. And I'm looking up at the camera and I'm looking up at people's faces, and they're like this. And I said, guys, I said, that was a minute and a half. I can see some emotions right now. I said, that's awesome. I said, those parents' life is a pandemic. Setting this kid up long after they're gone to make sure he has a good life and he's okay. Can you imagine that pandemic? And everyone was like this, nodding. Then I went to a second video. And the second video was two Irish boys. I should have played it on this session. Two Irish boys, when it says the caption is when we get back in the pub, and they're passing a soda bottle back and forth. And they have this Irish giggle and they're laughing. And you could see every person, not most people, every person smiling and laughing. And I got done and I said, so how did that affect you? And everyone goes, oh, I needed that. That laughter is hilarious. And all of a sudden now people's octaves and their voice are louder and they're stronger. Then I went to, I think it's Shep Hyken. He does a lot of stuff in team development. It's really good stuff. I love his videos. I probably compete with him. I don't care. His stuff is fantastic. I should really get the correct name. And then I played a video, and he uses video to talk about the concept of teammates, and he tells a great story about a small country. I think it's New Zealand, and how their rugby team's always the best in the world, even though they have the smallest population, because they instill these team development belief systems. And you could see people writing stuff down. So I went from perspective to laughter to strategy. Perspective, laughter, and strategy. Everybody felt different. Then I did something afterwards. I said, okay, now, because they're expecting me to teach and lecture, right? I said, now what I want to do, we're going to start speed dating. And I want everyone to share one fun thing they're going to do this weekend. And by the way, if you don't have anything planned, make something up right now. And everyone started laughing. And so I put everybody in Zoom breakout sessions. And then what I do, which is really kind of a fun technique, and it's zany. I'll take someone in group 1 and just put them in group 3, someone in group 3 into group 4, and so on. And I just rotate people around. And guess what happens? People come back laughing, talking. And then I say, okay, everybody, I want you for the next 15 minutes to walk. I want you to get away from your desk. I know you're supposed to be on here. So the knee jerk reaction is going to be to go to your desk and check your emails, right? Is everybody committed to not doing that? Everybody's nodding. Everybody's nodding. It's okay. I want you to all take a brisk walk. I want you to do it outside. I don't care if it's out to the street and back, if you happen to be at home, or if you're in the office or in a hybrid world now. Now I want you to take that to the next level, and I want you to just walk for 5 minutes, then come back, and I just want you to relax. So I want you to think about what I just did. I played 3 videos. I played 7 minutes of music. I give everybody time to just reflect and sit, and then go about on a 15-minute walking break. That wasn't even 45 minutes. People later went back to the person I report to and said, oh, Tim's session was great. I didn't do anything. All I did was facilitate perspective, some laughter, some emotion, some strategy. I never said a word. See, what we have to do as coaches is facilitate the experience. So I have a client who asked me a question, and she forgot to take a picture, which I could kill her for. But she said, what's something fun we could do? I said, have bucket hat day. She goes, what? I said, I wear bucket hats in the summer. The bucket hats that you pull over. I should have worn one. And you just put it over. It's like Gilligan's Island. She goes, oh, yeah. I said, have bucket hat day. Everybody comes with the funniest bucket hat. Everybody did it. No one said a word, and people showed up and they were laughing. See, when we change people's emotions and we change their physiology, it offsets fatigue. It doesn't solve it, doesn't magically make it go away. Don't get me wrong. Yet what it does is it gets people doing things they won't arbitrarily do on their own. So when I'm sitting here with a client on the East Coast telling them to get up and go outside and walk, even though it's cold, the brisk air will wake you up. It'll make you feel different. See, when you're fatigued and you sit back in your chair, this does nothing for fatigue. You know what it does? It just re-solidifies, man, am I fatigued? I'm pretty darn tired. And when you're fatigued and you know you're fatigued and you tell yourself, you know what, I'm pretty tired. Oh boy, I'm pretty tired. I start to actualize how I feel. So when you're sitting here and you're having conversations with your people, conversations are one thing, they're powerful, don't get me wrong. But facilitating movement, facilitating change, facilitating a change in physiology. I want to share with you just very quickly something we did at a company years ago. One of my favorite groups of people at a company called Evan Root Johnson, now BRP or Bombardier bought him out. And we had a call center. We had no manager in place. My company was the manager. And we did not have time for direct training or coaching. I mean, it was really interesting. So I remember the director, great guy, Tom Wally, he said, he goes, what are we going to do? I said, I think we have to get these people feeling good about being on the phone because they went from order taking to you got to upsell and cross sell. Oh, by the way, during a very, very bad economy, as it relates to, um, the situation with, sorry, my camera's moving around. Um, as it relates to the boating industry. So you know what we would do? You had to do fast walking breaks. It was a call center, fast walking breaks between 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes in the afternoon. And then every day, once in the morning, once in the afternoon, you had to clap 5 times and you had to stand up and do it. Then if you had to acknowledge one person during the day that sounded great on the phone, you had to go over to their desk and put a piece of candy on their desk saying, "Wow, you sound great on the phone." That was our signal. Here's the cool thing. We got people moving around. Our sales went up. No tactical sales training, no tactical sales coaching, none. We just raised our energies every day. Then we had a contest one week where everyone high-fived each other. So when you walked down the hallway, you had to count the number of high fives. If you went to the bathroom, the lunchroom, break room, whatever it was, you had to keep an honest chart or tally of the number of high fives you got walking. So when you're high five people, guess what happens? It becomes contagious. Everyone starts high fiving. It's corny crap like that that gets people feeling differently. Now we're in this virtual world. So this is not the fatiguing part. It's like watching television. If you watch a movie with your family or your spouse or significant other, do you really sit there after 3 movies and go, "God, I can't wait for a 4th movie?" No, you gotta be probably a movie nut to do that. But for the most part, you're what? I'm getting pretty tired because sitting and watching is fatiguing. The virtual world is not causing the fatigue, it's our inability to offset the fatigue. So the challenge we have as coaches is to raise our game and get people laughing, feeling different. Now, I also do something at our company. We run our company on Slack. All of our communication is done in Slack. We don't email each other. So I will occasionally just put in a song. I'm a big Zach Brown fan. I'll record a song or listen to something on Amazon. I'll record it and just put it in. And people are like, what is it? Oh, Tim's got a message. Oh, no, he's playing music. And then sometimes I'll put in a fun video, a random acts of kindness video on YouTube. And I'll say, hey, everybody, take a break. And all of a sudden, when you feel like you're grinding, oh, I'm so fatigued. And you see somebody who does something really above and beyond the call of duty, man, it's kind of tough mentally to do what? Complain about your fatigue. So remember, as coaches, we got to get people moving. Motion creates emotion. We got to get people laughing. Laughter is a wonderful, wonderful tool. I read a study years ago, and there's no doubt my beautiful Wisconsin body, I need to lose weight, right? Yet my blood pressure is low. My heart rate is significantly low. And I said to my doctor once, I said, why is that? He said, I think I know the answer. He goes, you have kind of that wicked sense of humor and you play pranks and you have fun every day. And he goes, how many times a day do you laugh? I said, I probably laugh hard once an hour. Why? Never thought anything about it. He said, that's it. There are studies about laughter physiologically having a positive impact on people. Number 3, use video. Even though we're doing this and we're tired, this gets old just talking to your people. Play a video that's inspirational. Play a video that really tugs at their heartstrings. So I want to share something with you. Last night, I have a very good friend of mine, Todd Lyon, who I played volleyball with, oh my gosh, 30 years ago. And I was grinding. I was grinding. It's out on Facebook, and his daughter plays for the University of Missouri. So I'm not revealing anything that's out of character or something that I think he'd be upset with. I didn't have his permission, but he won't be upset because the video was produced by the University of Missouri. And Todd and his wife at the time, Keelan, who I know very well, two great people. Um, she was struggling one night, came home, went to a movie, and went into cardiac arrest at the age of 17. Had 4 cardiac arrests. I'm watching this video yesterday before I produced this video, and I'm sitting here feeling choked up because Todd's a good buddy of mine, and it really tugs at you. The kid at age 17. So she's got, I think, a pacemaker and a defibrillator. She's playing D1 volleyball at the University of Missouri. Came back after 4 cardiac arrests and won the state championship. That's a hell of a story, excuse the French. And the caption of the video is "The Heart of a Champion." And I sat there and I'm watching it, and I was grinding. Came in yesterday at 4:30 a.m. It's about 4 p.m. I'm on a 12-hour day because things are good. Don't get me wrong. Not fatigue from, oh boy, how are we going to get through the day? I mean, we're lucky. Fatigue from, this has been a long day. It was a long day. And all of a sudden, I found myself working until 8 o'clock. It inspired me. That 4-minute video, I'm like, holy cow. And I sent him a little note saying, wow. I said, that gets you going. That's a powerful story. The heart of a champion, 4 cardiac arrests at the age of 17, playing D1 volleyball, comes back, wins the state championship. You know what this young lady said in her video? I would never have gotten through it if it wasn't for my family and friends. She said, every day, friends came to my hospital for 3 straight months. We're talking about high school kids who tend to not think about other people except themselves. And what was so cool about it, it hit me. I'm like, that's what we need to do right now in the workplace. We need to get people doing stuff. Think about having a random act of kindness officer. Think about having a motivation officer. Think about one thing we do is a fun officer. We all had a contest, a trivia contest on each other last week. Think about having somebody who does something fun for the group, like this past week or 2 weeks ago. Stephanie at our company had everyone dress up, and you had to like have these 13 colors. I took a picture and posted. I look like a homeless person. I look like if I had a tin cup, I'd be rich. And those are the things we have to do. Now we've been virtual for about 12 years. So think about what can you do to help offset fatigue. It's not easy. It's hard. It's really hard. So as we think about that, think about questions. I also think when people are tired, give provide questions that offset that, not to change it, but to give them perspective, such as, what are you going to do to re-energize? What are you going to do to overcome that challenge? What are you going to overcome? What are you going to do to successfully overcome that fatigue? What are the positive steps you're going to take? What do you typically do to re-energize when you are tired? See, when we forget those things as employees, we don't want to be told, yet the questions drive and trigger them to do what? Think a little bit differently. So I'm going to stop there. I hope this was educational. I hope you got a lot of ideas from it. Please send us an email. If you like what we're doing, send us a message on LinkedIn or send me an email, tim@progresscoachingleader.com. Um, we're going to do these every Monday. I hope they're helping. And we always try to go beyond the concept and the fluff to tactical things and solutions that you can implement at your company. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.